have a master's degree in accounting with 11 years of working experience in a bank in Bangladesh. I came to Canada as a skilled immigrant, but I am unable to get any jobs in the banking sector due to the lack of Canadian experience. I was forced to work in the precarious labor market to meet my survival needs.
Sorry, you don't have Canadian experience and your credential is not accepted by Canadian employers.
For the last 3 years, I have been working in many manufacturing unit. Cannot hear me?
So we can hear you.
In many manufacturing unit in irregular hours through a staffing agency on minimum wage. And yet I am not getting any permanent or full-time position. Everything is on contract and every month I am struggling to pay my rent and living expenses. I have to support my family since I am the only working lady. But what can I do? Because the living expense is so high than the minimum wage.
Minimum wage in Ontario has already been increased to $15.50, but there is nothing that the system can do about your employment status.
I have been working in a food factory for 3 years. Due to uncertain and chaotic scheduling, I cannot complete required hours in a year for my employment insurance EI application. Every time that I have been laid off, I have to stay home without benefit.
Sorry, you need to complete at least 420 to 700 hours in a year to get the EI, and the system needs your record of employment from your employment indicating that you are laid off. Leaving a job voluntarily will not allow you apply to EI.
To survive and meet my family's needs, I was working 2 jobs at a time, a part-time and a full-time for 60 hours in a week before the pandemic. I paid employment deductions including EI from my both jobs. During the pandemic, I got laid off from my part-time job. I applied for EI based on the laid off condition and income loss from my part-time job. And the system refused my application due to my full-time job status. I am struggling to meet my living expenses with limited income from my full-time minimum wage job. Since I got a deduction for every dollar income from my part-time job and laid off due to shortage of work, I deserve employment insurance to meet my income loss while I have another full-time job.
Take the microphone close to your mouth, please.
Sorry, if you have a full-time job, you are not eligible for EI. It does not matter. If the EI premium has been deducted from your paycheck for other jobs.
I'm a newcomer woman hired as a full-time worker.
Turn on করতে হবে, মাইকটা অন করতে হবে।
I'm a
মাইকটা অন করতে হবে।
I'm a newcomer woman hired as a full-time worker but forced to be on call, unstable part-time worker by my employer at a coffee shop. My employer asked me to come whenever they need me, so I am forced to be working regular hours. Most of the week, my working hours stayed 15 to 20, which is below the childcare subsidies requirement. I am unable to apply for childcare subsidies. I have 2 children at the age of 6 and 8 and pay 5 per hour for each kid to access the community informal childcare services, which is very risky and does not meet quality. Most of the week, I have to pay 200 cash for my childcare expenses, while my weekly income is 300 to 350. I know childcare is a right and every child deserves quality childcare services, but unfortunately, I cannot access quality and affordable childcare without subsidies.
Sorry,
You need a minimum of 25 hours per week work record to qualify for childcare subsidy.
I have 2 kids and both are in daycare. Number 1. I have 2 kids and both are in daycare. With the help of the subsidies, I am currently paying $100 per month for both. But after the recent news of the introduction of $10 child care, I will have to pay $400 per month, which is impossible with my minimum wage job. We still need a child care subsidies for the low and no income women, while universal child care will roll out in 2025.
Oh, the $10 a day childcare program was introduced as a best way to cater to everyone's needs, and it is applicable to all. The system still does not take into consideration individual needs.
I am living in a one-bedroom apartment with my 3 young children who are all at different ages and genders. I paid $2,200 per month rent for my one-bedroom apartment, which is not affordable by one person's income. My husband applied for social housing 8 years ago, and we still haven't heard back since there is a long wait list for government housing.
I have been facing issue with my
Housing wait lists are so long and you have to be on the wait list even though you need immediate social housing. There is not enough social housing available for everyone.
I have been facing issue with my husband as he tend to physically abuse me and emotional torture me. I am worried about the safety of my kids and myself, but I am very helpless. I am on a spousal student visa, and if I complain, I will to provide 2 proof of finance, that too enough to support my kids, otherwise I lose my kids. To child protection service, is there any way I can to support by the system?
You can file for a agency grounds application to the IRCC, but the wait time is lot and the outcome is not always positive. In the meantime, you can contact the shelter and move there.
But if I end up staying in the shelter, there is a risk that my agency application will be rejected, as the immigration officer might see me as capable supporting for myself and in Canada.
Sorry, that is a risk that you need to take. There is that is a risk that you need to take. There is nothing in the system that can help you.
Number 3, health and safety. I have elderly in-laws and kids who are extremely physically vulnerable due to their immunocompromised condition. During the pandemic, my employer did not bother to take into consideration my family's health and safety. My employer did not inform me that the workplace was contaminated with COVID-19. As a result, I infected and put my family at risk. All of us suffered a lot. Employer discouraged me from applying to WSIB, and now I have long COVID symptoms and I missed the timeline to apply for WSIB. Too bad. You are late.
Too bad you are late to apply for the WSIB benefit, as you are over the 6 months application window.
I got injured last year due to a faulty machine in my working place, and this injury affected my ability to work and support my family. It also caused a lifelong disability. I applied for WSIB benefits and my claim is under re-evaluation to check my validity. And finally, they come back denying my claims, saying that it was due to my pre-existing medical conditions. That is not right. It is because I was perfectly okay, fine when before my injury.
If the claim was re-evaluated and your claim was found to be invalid, then there is nothing that the system can do.
Okay. So